Most people think of Medicare as free and Medi-Cal as only for the poor, but the reality is more nuanced. Medicare doesn't have a traditional income or asset test, while Medi-Cal does, and California's asset rules are changing again starting in 2026. Hi everyone, this is Huang Lei, CFP and EA in California from Huang Lei Insurance and Financial Services. In today's video, I'm going to break down a question I get all the time in California. What are Medicare and Medi-Cal? And what income levels and assets do you need to qualify? If you're a senior, a caregiver, or you advise clients on tax and financial planning, understanding these rules can help you avoid surprises and structure your finances more strategically. Let's walk through this in plain language. Section 1. Medicare Basics. First, let's start with Medicare. Medicare is the federal health insurance program for people age 65 and older, people under 65 on Social Security disability for 24 months, certain conditions like end-stage renal disease and ALS. Eligibility is based on age, disability, and your work history, typically 40 quarters of work paying Medicare taxes. Here's the key point. Basic Medicare doesn't look at your income or your assets in the same way Medi-Cal does. There's no means test. However, income still matters for Medicare through something called IRMAA, Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, which can increase your Part B and Part D premiums if your modified adjusted gross income is above certain thresholds. So for tax and financial planning, we don't plan how to qualify for Medicare. We plan how to avoid higher premiums and how to coordinate Medicare with other coverage, like Medi-Cal. Section 2. What is Medi-Cal? Now let's talk about Medi-Cal. That's California's Medicaid program. Medi-Cal is health coverage for low-income residents in California. It has two broad tracks, MAGI Medi-Cal, based on modified adjusted gross income. Non-MAGI Medi-Cal, more traditional programs for people who are aged, blind, disabled, or in long-term care. For MAGI Medi-Cal, the focus is almost entirely on income, and there is generally no asset test. For non-MAGI Medi-Cal, both income and assets matter, and asset limits will be reinstated starting January 1st, 2026, with fairly high caps compared to the old rules. Section 3. Income levels for Medi-Cal. Let's look at income levels in a simple, approximate way. For adults ages 19 to 64 under MAGI Medi-Cal, the threshold is around 138% of the federal poverty level. Using recent figures, that's roughly about $21,000 to $22,000 per year for a single adult, around $44,000 per year for a family of 4. Children under 19 can qualify at much higher income levels, up to about 266% of the federal poverty level. That means a family can have a relatively moderate middle-class income and still have children on Medi-Cal. Pregnant women also have higher income thresholds, typically somewhere in the 200–300% FPL range, depending on the specific program. For seniors and disabled individuals, people who often already have Medicare, Medi-Cal uses different income tests. These include programs tied to SSI with lower income limits, aged and disabled programs with slightly higher income limits, and share of cost Medi-Cal, where you contribute a portion of your income toward medical expenses. The exact numbers change each year as the federal poverty level updates. So for precise planning, you always check the current DHCS or Covered California charts. Section 4. Asset rules for Medi-Cal. Here's where it gets interesting for planning. Assets. For MAGI Medi-Cal, there is no standard asset limit, and a household can have significant assets, including a home and investments, and still qualify if their income is low enough. And for non-MAGI Medi-Cal, especially seniors, disabled, and long-term care cases, California had eliminated the asset test for a time, but starting January 1st, 2026, the asset limit comes back. The 2026 asset limits are $130,000 in countable assets for one person, plus $65,000 for each additional household member, up to 10 members. So, for example, single person, up to $130,000 in countable assets. Married couple, up to $195,000. Household of 3, up to $260,000. Remember, not everything is countable. Common exempt assets include your primary home, one vehicle, household goods, and personal belongings, certain retirement accounts especially when in payout, and some burial plans and life insurance policies. From a planning standpoint, we look at how to position assets so that necessary coverage is available without forcing someone into poverty. Section 5. Big picture for seniors. So how do Medicare and Medi-Cal work together for seniors in California? Think of it as a two-layer structure. Layer 1. Medicare, which provides basic hospital and medical coverage, and eligibility is based on age and disability, not income or assets. Layer 2. Medi-Cal, for seniors and disabled individuals with limited income and assets. Medi-Cal steps in as wraparound coverage. Medi-Cal can help pay Medicare premiums, reduce out-of-pocket costs, and cover long-term care. To qualify for that second layer, seniors must fit within income limits and, starting in 2026, asset limits. That's where careful tax and estate planning can make a big difference. Section 6. Planning opportunities. If you're watching this as a client or as another advisor, here are some planning angles. Managing taxable income to stay under key thresholds. Structuring assets, using exempt categories like the home, retirement accounts, and burial plans. Coordinating estate planning, trusts, and beneficiary designations with Medi-Cal rules. Anticipating future policy changes, such as proposed reductions to asset limits after 2026, especially for long-term care planning. Every situation is unique, so please don't make big decisions based purely on a YouTube video. Talk with a qualified advisor who understands both tax and health coverage rules in California. In future videos, I'll walk through real-life case studies, for example, a retired couple in the Bay Area with a home, retirement accounts, and moderate income, and show how we evaluate whether Medi-Cal can help. If you have lingering questions or want to suggest a topic, leave a comment below or contact my office at Hoang Lei Tax, Insurance, and Financial Services. If you find this breakdown helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be confused about Medicare and Medi-Cal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.